Can a 3-year-old kid pass the IELTS exam by using the IELTS Express course? We're gonna check it right now. Alright, we've just finished the first part of the speaking section. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching it. And now we're gonna show you how to achieve an 8 or even a 9 in the second part of the speaking section.
So Tom, now I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You can take some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Here's some paper and a pencil for making notes. And here's the topic. I'd like you to describe your favorite dish.
Thank you. I should say that in all our videos we give you some tasks, and if you do them, you will get twice as much as just watching the videos. So now pause the video for 1 minute, take a piece of paper and think of how you would describe your favorite dish. What words and grammar would you choose?
Could you take a seat, please? All right. Remember, you have 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Of course! My favorite dish is ravioli. They are made of dough with meat or cheese inside. You know, square ones.
Yeah, I know. Go and speaking, please. Delicious.
Actually, I love them with meat because it makes me more energetic. Besides, they're easy to cook. Just boil them for 5 minutes, then add some mayonnaise, ketchup, or even mustard if you are a big fan of spicy food. To be honest, I cook them twice a week, and I would say that it's definitely my favorite dish because on the one hand, it's a kind of fast food, but on the other hand, it's relatively healthy if you don't add a pile of mayonnaise, of course.
Very nice, Tom.
Really?
Yeah, it's a brilliant answer.
Thank you, Mr. D.
For a score of 6.
All right.
Would you like to hear 8 plus answer?
Of course.
So, learn from the master. I'd like to tell you about my favorite dish, which is ravioli. It is pasta in the shape of small squares with circles filled with meat or cheese and usually eaten with sauce. Actually, I prefer them round shape with minced beef because it's an excellent choice for a nutritious and energy-rich lunch or dinner. Besides, they're easy to cook. Just put them in the boiling water after adding a teaspoon of fine sea salt, or better still, a pinch of powder made of coriander, parsley, fennel, and rosemary. Trust me, it makes all the difference. You feel the fresh scent wafting in the kitchen. Then, while they are boiling, preheat the frying pan. Drizzle them with olive oil. In 5 minutes, take them out of the water. Put on the pan and immediately stir to prevent sticking. Wait for 2 minutes. Stir again. Wait for 2 more minutes till they turn golden brown. Now place them on a plate. Season with garlic powder, a bit of mayonnaise, and a piece of fresh lettuce on top. A few drops of balsamic vinegar. Done. Voila! Easy peasy. I should say that my mom showed me that a few weeks ago. And hardly had I tried this dish, it blew my socks off. Since then, I've been cooking ravioli almost every day. I must also say this dish is my fave because it's not only yummy but also quick to prepare. So if my parents have to burn the midnight oil or I have no time, I can easily cook it in just 10 minutes for the whole family. I wish my mom showed me one more dish so I could try something new. See?
Well, as you can see, technically, Mr. D tells the same information as I did. In particular, how to cook ravioli and why he likes this dish. But my answer is far from perfect. Why? Because I didn't use a wide range of grammar and lexis.
You failed because you didn't apply the ABCD algorithm.
Alright, by the way, if you haven't heard about the ABCD algorithm, go to the website and have a look at our IELTS Express course. Now, let's have a close look at Mr. D's answer. First of all, collocations. He doesn't just say square ravioli with meat or cheese. He says in the shape of small squares or circles, filled with meat and eaten with sauce. The second collocation, minced beef. It's meat cut into very small pieces using a special machine called a mincer. Next, a nutritious and energy-rich lunch. Nutritious food is food containing substances which help your body to stay healthy. Then, instead of salt, we see a teaspoon of fine sea salt. Fine sea salt means salt in very small pieces. The next one, a pinch of powder or salt. This expression is very popular with those who like cooking. A pinch is the amount of something that you can hold between your finger and thumb. Also, if you want to show off, list a few specific words connected to the topic you are talking about. In our case, cooking. That's why Mr. D mentions coriander, parsley, fennel and rosemary. Now, pay attention to this collocation. Fresh scent of herbs wafting in the kitchen. Waft means to move gently through the air. The next one must be familiar to you if you watched our previous video. Drizzled with olive oil. To drizzle is to pour a small amount of liquid over the surface of something. The following collocations you can easily understand from the context. Stir to prevent sticking. Cook until they turn golden brown. Season with garlic powder. A piece of fresh lettuce on top. And a few drops of balsamic vinegar. My recommendation is to learn these collocations by heart to show the examiners that you are an advanced speaker. Now, let's move on to idioms. The first one is "this makes all the difference." If something makes all the difference, it has a very good effect on something. Number 2, it blew my socks off. If something blows or knocks your socks off, you find it extremely exciting or good. The final idiom is to burn the midnight oil. It means to study or work until late at night. Also, memorize these informal expressions. Easy peasy means very easy. My fave, a short form of favorite, and yummy, a synonym of delicious. So, let's make some calculations. Mr. D managed to use more than 20 collocations and idioms in just 2 minutes. It's approximately 1 unit every 6 seconds. Impressive. Let's have a look at grammar. Mr. D skillfully uses the passive voice filled with, eaten with. Then an if clause type 0, wait for 2 more minutes until they turn golden brown. Now look at this. Hardly had I tried this dish, it blew my socks off. Do you know what it is? It's not just the past perfect, it's an inversion. Inversion is when we change the order of words to emphasize our ideas. The next one is the present perfect continuous. Since then, I've been cooking ravioli almost every day. I highly recommend using the perfect simple and perfect continuous. But most of the students use only the present and past simple, which is not enough to achieve top results. Finally, we have one more if clause and a wish clause. Don't forget about linkers. Actually, besides, after adding, or better still, which means even more satisfactory. Then, trust me, now, I should say that, I must also say that, and my favorite paired conjunction, not only, but also. Put these linkers down and use them in your answers. Last but not least, pronunciation. Your speech must be fluent if you want to get a high score. In our online course, we pay a close attention to it and explain how you can improve your pronunciation in just a few weeks. Of course, most of you are familiar with shadowing, but we have something much more effective, our own technique called LRC. To conclude, it's not a big deal to make 8+ answers like Mr. D does, and the secret is the so-called 2-lap plan. If you know how to make it, you can easily speak for 2 minutes, but the most important thing, with the 2-lap plan, you will never forget about grammar, idioms, and collocations. If you'd like to know what possible scores you might achieve in the speaking or writing sections, just send me your essay or recorded answer, and you will get a detailed feedback with my personal recommendations on how to improve your speaking and writing skills.
You haven't tried our course yet. What are you waiting for?